Everyone who's joining us while I'm loading and allowing everyone to join and setting up all the redirections and stuff. Let me know in the chat where you're joining us from. That'll be great to know. Let us know where you're from, which city, which country. That'll be great to see. So webinar is now streaming on Custom Live. Cool. So we're supposed to be on Facebook and hopefully on YouTube as well. Let me double check that. Let's see if we're live there as well. No, I don't see us live on. Okay, sweet. Yeah, I see us live on YouTube as well. That's cool. So I'll open that. I see. Cool. We have people from India. That's awesome. I see some more people joining us. If you join us right now, let us know where you're joining us from. That'll be great. So I see Shank, hopefully I don't butcher your name. Sorry for that if I do so. From India, we have good to be here from the Netherlands. That's awesome. How are you guys doing there right now with all the COVID thing? Are you guys still in a mess or getting back on track? Las Vegas, awesome stuff. Big mess still. Oh, India, yeah, man. Sorry to hear that. It's pretty insane to see some countries, some places seems like they're kind of like going back to normal, but can you really call it normal anymore? I just had a flight for the first time a month, 2 months ago now, or even more after this year. And it's really weird when you need to do those tests before the flight and all that. And I mean, it's funny if you think about it, it became a business in itself. Like the governments are basically charging you money to do those COVID tests, those weird PCR COVID tests, and the regular one is not enough. So what a world to live in, huh? Who else we got here, guys? Where you from? I see some more people are joining us, and we're going live on all platforms right now. So while everyone is joining us, we got here, guys. Live. Oops, I just heard myself. And I'm going to open everything to make sure that I see the chats. My goal for you here in this call, let me see if I can see the chat in the software. Where's the chat here? Is to answer your questions. So if you have, oh, cool. So now I see, nice, Martin. So now I see the chat actually. Cool. So I see New Jersey. Nice. I see Ireland. And it's so cool that we have people from all over the world. Pretty cool. From Chicago, but moved to Florida. Cool. How's the weather there right now? Pretty nice, I assume, I bet. Yeah, guys, so I'm here to answer your questions. So in the meantime, if you have any questions, let me know. Let me know what is your biggest challenge when it comes to acquisitions, or maybe let me know what got you curious about acquisitions in the first place. How did you hear about me, about acquisitions.com? I'd love to hear that as well. What do you think is your biggest challenge? What do you think is going to be your biggest challenge? What are you struggling with right now? And as we are starting right now, let's say that we're starting it officially right now. Okay, cool. So it looks like I see some questions from YouTube. I'm not sure if I'm seeing questions on Facebook. Let me see. Yeah, let me know what got you curious about acquisitions. I can tell you for me, what got me really curious about it. It's almost, I got to this space almost by accident after I've done my first deal, and I realized like you can grow by years worth of sales in an afternoon by doing one deal. So that's pretty cool. I'm just curious what got you excited about this space. If you want to let me know, that'll be awesome to hear. Where I'm from. So I'm originally from Israel, but I've been, you can call it a global citizen in the last few years. I have residencies in few countries. And before this COVID thing, I used to be on a flight pretty much literally every 3 weeks, I would say, 3-4 weeks. I would move and just live in different Airbnbs. Is there a way, Don Juan is asking, nice name. Is there a way to go around business brokers? The answer is yes, 100%. Actually, we use a lot of off-market strategies where we go direct to the business owner. So the problem when you work with brokers is First of all, they're going to ask you for high valuations. You're going to have high multiples that they're going to ask you. Um, you're going to have sometimes competitors on that deal. Then again, you need to remember, like, understand what and how the broker is making money, right? So if the broker is making money by charging some kind of a retainer from the seller and then taking a fee from the deal, right? So to get that retainer and to get that listing, it's very similar to real estate. So to get that listing from the seller, he needs to promise to the seller a very nice price that someone is going to pay for the business. So basically, then, hey, Mr. Seller, I'm sure we can get you millions of dollars for your business. List your business with me. Pay me X amount of dollars upfront for a retainer, and also X percentage from the sale. And when that happens, guess what? The last thing the broker wants is to basically bring him someone who wants to do a no money down deal. So if you're going to tell a broker, hey, I want to do a 100% seller financing, that's the last deal you want to present to the seller, right? So those are some of the challenges with the brokers. Also with brokers, if you don't know how to position yourself as a credible buyer, a lot of people have problems going through brokers because brokers don't take them seriously, and a lot of people who are new in the space don't know how to position themselves so they take them seriously. So we have a lot of strategies where we go directly to the business owners. If it's we have literally dozens of strategies if it's using different social media platforms and different scripts and automations. I think the beauty with what we're doing is we really uh, we're able to automate the process of deal flow, where we have a process, a proprietary process, where we build a system to find deals based on a specific criteria, and then to go out there, reach out to those business owners so they will book a call with us on our calendar versus us chasing them. So it's really, really interesting. I'm just going to go through. So it looks like I don't see Zoom chat on Restream, which is cool. So I'll just go through Zoom thing. Let's see, we have people from Los Angeles. I see Arena. She struggled with closing the deal. I lose good deals to other buyers. Yeah, that's a very typical challenge for people. Typing from San Jose, California, Silicon Valley. Nice. Interested in acquisition to retire within the next 5 years. Silicon Valley. Yeah, it's it's really interesting. You know, I have a lot of thoughts about that part of the world because I was a partner in a, you can call it a venture capital firm. And it's very interesting to see the difference between kind of like what we're doing right now with acquisitions.com and what we're kind of like supporting our community with versus the way people do business in the Silicon Valley. So, and if you're from there, I'll take that because I like to talk about that. It's just the differences when you go and see businesses that grow in Silicon Valley. Some of the best businesses in the world grew from that place, right? But it's a very different strategy. The strategies there is to find a sector that needs some kind of innovation, come up with a technology, come up with a product, and then scale as long as there's some kind of a product market fit and people enjoy the product, like scale even if the business is not profitable. So it's just a really interesting way to approach business. So for the entrepreneur, I mean, think about it this way. For entrepreneurs, even those who are being backed by venture capital firms have like only 1 out of 10, perhaps if they're lucky, making it. Like I'm actually 1 out of 100s, because only 1 out of few thousand actually get capital from venture capital firms. And even those who get capital from venture capital firms, some of the best investors in the world, even those, only 1 out of 10 make it, right? And I'm talking make it, I'm not talking about becoming a unicorn. So it's a very lucrative model for the venture capital firms and investors, but not necessarily for the entrepreneur unless he's the one who's hitting the lottery, right? So if you look at some of the latest success stories from Silicon Valley, if it's Uber or Coinbase or Airbnb, obviously for the entrepreneurs there, it's insane capital event, right? But for think about that, like for every one Airbnb or every one Uber or every one Coinbase, there are thousands of entrepreneurs who don't make it, right? And you don't hear the stories about them. Also, it's pretty much getting to an understanding that as the entrepreneur, the time where you really make money is only after, like, again, I don't want to generalize, but like you actually have access to your capital only when you go public. So for Airbnb, I think it took them more than 10 years to go public. During that time, unless an entrepreneur is selling his shares as a secondary buyout, then is not really getting access to the capital that much, right? So it's very interesting to see that versus kind of like what we're doing, which is very much going to the cash right away, buy businesses that are already profitable, more boring businesses, right? More traditional businesses. So we're looking at some of the deals that we're kind of like looking and seeing right now. Like right now, we're closing on with one of our clients on a masonry deal, and it's like the most boring thing you can think about, right? Like company that's basically providing services to fix like chimneys in houses, right? So or like we're looking at roofing businesses or landscaping businesses, or not necessarily the most sexy or attractive businesses, but that fact make the business more sustainable, less like think about it this way. Most people go to college, they're not really going to college in Silicon Valley, for example, to go out there and run a landscaping company, right? They want to build the next Uber, the next Airbnb. And when we see with our clients, when we buy those boring businesses, they're steady, they're cash flowing, they exist sometimes for 10, 20 plus years. So it's very difficult to disturb those businesses. They're very simple businesses that provide very simple service. So right now, it's pretty cool. And that's kind of like my idea with what we're building with acquisitions.com, is to help people find great deals, buy great businesses so they can have great cash flow, build equity for themselves at the same time. And we with acquisitions.com help them find deals, analyze deals, raise capital. Like right now with the one of the deals that we're closing on with the masonry deal, like I'm putting money personally as an angel investor, right? Alongside our syndicate that's putting capital as well. So it's a very interesting situation. So I see a lot of syndicates out there in the startup space, right? A lot of syndicates in the startup phase that basically build communities of people who want to invest in the next Uber or the next Airbnb. But again, if they're investing in those investments, which are great if you're making it, you can have 10x on your money or 100x or more if you hit an Uber. With us, what we're trying to do is to allow investors to invest in a more steady, profitable, and already established businesses versus like you see syndicates in the startup space where people are investing in businesses that don't even have a product in the market, right? Or don't even make any profit. Like it's funny, like everyone's familiar with Clubhouse right now. They reach like I don't know how many billions in valuation without making a single dollar in revenue, which is pretty insane, right? It's just a different business model. It's not the play we're playing with, right? So I'll go through some of the questions. Where am I want to see where's the Q&A thing. Okay, sweet. So I see Q&A. All right, so I see Bob is saying our biggest challenge has been creating a strong team of financial partners, also with valuation being so forthy, prices are at all-time high. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Well, with capital, that's going to be the biggest challenge with any deal, right? In the end of the day, like there's a lot of deal structure that we share with our community that allows you to get access to capital, right? In the end of the day, there's only two ways to close deals. It's getting access to debt and equity. It's pretty straightforward. But the beauty with what we're doing is we have dozens of ways to get debt and equity, right? Like right now, like I just mentioned with the masonry deal, one of the biggest value of working with us is getting access to the syndicate if you're a private client, right? Because we'll potentially invest, our community will invest. I mean, it can get better than that. And then it's a win-win for everyone. It's a win-win for the entrepreneur. You as the business buyer want to buy those businesses. And it's a win-win for the investors in our community. Like for me right now, I just want to put capital into good investments, into good deals, right? So for me, it's a great deal because I'm going to get 10% dividends plus 20% carry, which overall, if everything goes right, which obviously it's a business, there's always the potential of losing money in investments. But if everything goes right, it's 30% a year on my money, which is a great return, right? Warren Buffett isn't getting that return in his history. So I think right now, if you have access to to good investors, you can provide to them really great return on their capital by providing them access to basically private equity type deals that they won't be able to get access to otherwise, unless they're investing like a few $1 million in a fund, in a private equity fund. So I think with what we're trying to do is to coach entrepreneurs who want to become the business buyer, and alongside that, to build a community of investors who don't necessarily want to do the work of finding deals, negotiating deals. They just want to put capital into deals. And I'm more in that place right now. I just want to throw capital in the deals and just see my money compound over time. Like I've done kind of like doing the deals myself. I might go back to do that in the future with actually some stuff that I'm kind of like researching and thinking about right now. On potentially doing IPOs with our clients, but that's a different plan. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question, Bob. And yeah, your biggest challenge is going to be access to capital, right? So you just got to deal with it and learn different strategies on how to get access to that capital. And OPM, I mean, people are looking for great deals right now. People with money are looking for great opportunities. I'm looking for great opportunities because, like you said, the market is very close, in my opinion, to some kind of we're kind of like in a bubble. It's a very weird situation. I won't surprise like everyone. A lot of people are talking about the fact that we might see some kind of a collapse soon. So I know that I'm personally looking to deploy and diverse my investments. So if you find people with capital and you provide to them good deals, you by that giving them value. I'd like to know more about your process of finding and integrating new directors in acquisition when the seller wants out. Yeah, so there's a lot of ways to basically make sure. So your biggest goal when you buy a business is to make sure that, first of all, your business is not going to collapse, right? Like the last thing you want is to buy a business and then find out that tomorrow you have basically no business, right? So there, and I'm saying that because I've heard horror stories of people coming to me and telling me, Moran, I wish I heard about you a few months ago. I just bought a business that I found out I need to not just deploy all of my life savings to close the deal, but I need to deploy all of my like close family members' life savings to keep the business alive, right? And keep the business above water, just because they found out the business is really, really bad. And a lot of it comes down to knowing how to find out if a deal is a good deal in the first place or not, right? So it comes down to make sure you're maintaining things the right way after you do the deal. A lot of it comes down to knowing how to analyze deals before you even close the deal, right? Because the best way for you to have a great business after you buy it is to do enough due diligence before you buy it to make sure you're actually buying a good business, right? And knowing what to look for in each businesses. Like I think I mentioned I don't know if some of you went through our challenge, but we went through a full training of some stuff to look at in each deal to know if a business is worth more or less in their valuation. So you gotta understand what to look for in a business to know if the business, if it makes sense to even buy it in the first place, and to make sure that the value that you're putting on that business is not too much, right? And you're not overpaying for a business that isn't worth it. After that, if you're buying a good business, then obviously you got to have a process to find the right management team in play, to know how to incentivize them the right way. If it's someone that you find, in that business, if it's some kind of integration with the operation and the owner, or if it's someone that you hire from the outside market. I looked up on YouTube, why am I poor? And from that search, I started a year ago and I'm now here. I've never returned back. I will never quit. I've got laid off from my job, so things are honestly even crazier. It's all happening on purpose. Yeah, a lot of things that happen to us that are kind of like at the moment we think are negative. I think in the future, if you're finding out, they're kind of like the best things that happen to us. Like some of the things that I remember looking at my life and I'm like, that's the worst thing that can ever happen to me. Eventually, now when I'm looking back at those things, and if I'm really honest with myself, probably the best things that happened to me, and not necessarily with the external results that I got, but more about the person that I became, and the way that I'm looking at life just drastically changed by going through those tough experiences. And a lot of it just comes down to just taking things more lightly. I think that's some of the biggest lessons. Just understanding, life is a mess. Imran, I've encountered a scheduling conflict this morning. I have to be in another meeting. I will have to leave early, unfortunately. Thank you for making dreams come true. Yeah, Michael, no worries. Thank you for those kind of words. Let me go back on the chat thing. Do you think Hong Kong and China is still a place for killer with the rule of law? So I had actually a business registered in Hong Kong. China, I just don't know, to be honest, the rules there, so I'm not the best person to ask about China. But obviously there's a lot of businesses going on in China. A lot of acquisitions are being done in China. To tell you that I know exactly what are their rules in terms of dealing with financial institutions there and investors, and what it looks like with the government, and what they're keeping to you or not, that's a damn good question that I don't have the answer to be honest. But in the end of the day, the answer is that if you have businesses in those countries, then buying businesses and doing acquisitions is being done. Like if you look at any country that you can name to me, and you look at the richest people in that world, in that country, they're probably doing deals and doing acquisitions. Um, how do we close deals from Africa? Can we target overseas deal from Africa? Can Nigerian private investors fund overseas deals? Can overseas investors fund African deals? Yeah, good question. So in terms of overseas deal, actually, we just had a Q&A call with our clients, and we just had a call with a Canadian guy who's buying companies in the US. So it's definitely doable. I had companies in different countries around the world. It's definitely doable. Can I tell you it's going to be as easy as someone who's going to be a local? The answer is no, right? Because you're going to have just much more challenges when you're talking to financial institutions in that country, right? Um, if you have equity that you can bring from Nigeria, the answer is yes. We have actually a client, Leo, which I think we shared the interview with everyone, but he's a guy in Nigeria, is a Nigerian guy living in Ukraine who bought a business in the US, right? A multi-million dollar in the US. So he never went to the US to even talk to the owner in there. He did everything on phone calls, on Zoom calls, and he was able to get it done. And I'm sharing that story because you mentioned you from Nigeria as well. So it's definitely doable. It's just going to be, you need to understand, you're going to have a different learning curve, and much more challenging process. Like what Leo told us, the guy who closed the Nigerian guy who's living in Ukraine and closed the deal in the US. He told us that one of the biggest challenges that he had is when he talked to business owners or banks, like they literally thought he's like the Nigerian scam, the Prince Nigerian thing that I'm sure a lot of you kind of like heard about that. It's like, all the Nigerian Prince scam thing that people just used to send emails to stuff. Literally people told that like, are you like some kind of a Prince scam thing? And he had to deal with that, and he dealt with that, and he was able to overcome that. So it's definitely doable. You just need to be committed to that. Let's see some more. Yeah, and for those of you who are joining, I'm curious, how long did you know about me and acquisitions.com? I'm just curious if you don't mind sharing. Because I know a lot of people who hear about us for the first time, they consider acquisitions versus startups. And most people are not familiar with the stats about starting a business from scratch. And they don't know that like 99% of businesses, new businesses, fail in their first 5 and 10 years. And the beauty with what we're doing is we're buying existing businesses that already exist for 5, 10 plus years. And we're also buying established businesses that are doing usually above $1 million a year in sales, which means that you're buying yourself like actual business. You're owning a business. You're becoming an owner of a business. They're not necessarily someone who only have like a job inside of the business. Like right now, again, I'm thinking about the guy we just robbed from one of our clients. He's buying businesses right now that have dozens of employees in those businesses. So he's not the person who eventually need to be there day to day to run the business. And that's something that you need to think about as well. Like a real business is a business that grows with systems and with the team in there. And if the business is just you, then it's not really a real business. It's more of a high paying job that you also own, or you have a job inside of a business, which again, it's all good if you feel like it's giving you the life that you want. But it's just something to understand. And yeah, some of the people that you see on Shark Tank and Dragon's Den, all of those guys, that's what they're doing. They're basically using other people's money. Like a lot of people familiar with, Kevin O'Leary. He's closing deals left and right using other people's money. He's basically have capital that he's deploying to close more deals, to buy more companies, right? and it's not necessarily all of his money. I'm sure a lot of his capital is there as well in the same asset classes, but a lot of it is being raised from other people's money, right? And that's how he's able to do so many deals. And not necessarily as rich as some of the other people there, like Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban was one of the unicorn technology guy. He sold his business and then he was able to play with that money. But you look at Kevin O'Leary, he's using a lot of other people money to invest. Like the richest people in the world, if you're looking at what they're doing, they use other people money, period. Like some kind of either using debt or equity, or usually a combination of both, to grow and scale and leverage themselves even more. I know a lot of time people ask me what I really like about that fact, the acquisitions award. I think the biggest thing for me that got me excited about it is the fact that, like, you're the one calling the shots. Like, it's kind of like really becoming the person who's really enjoying the art of the deal, the negotiations, the finding out and learning about different people all the time versus managing small details. I know for me it was a big one. Also, the fact that you can learn so much about business just by knowing how to position yourself as a business buyer, and talking to potential business owners that you want to own. You will learn more about buying business, more about business in general, talking to a few business owners about potentially buying their business. You'll probably learn more about how to run a successful business in that sector in few conversation with those business owners than you would learn in starting or trying to start a business from scratch in that sector that will take you years. Thinking about it this way, most startups never get to a millionaire in sales. So they're basically going through the same process. They're repeating pretty much the same 1 year 10 times because they never reach above 1 million, right? They stuck, which is all good. Can provide them a great lifestyle. But what you can do with acquisitions is go directly to business owners doing 1 million, 5 million, 10 million, learn their process on how they're running a successful business that is already exists for 5, 10, 20 years, and learn their process just by the fact that you're a potential buyer, because you will learn so much about their business because they need to share everything with you, because they need to convince you, if you know how to position yourself well, that they want to convince you to buy their business, right? So they will teach you so much about how to run a super successful business in a sector that you want to be part of. And the beauty with buying businesses is the fact that you can buy a business for multiples of, let's say, 2 times, 3 times of pre-tax profits. That's just one way to value a business, right? You buy a business on the multiples of the profits of the business, or pre-tax profits. And you can then buy the business, use OPM to buy it, pay other people money over time if you want, and then eventually sell the business. So if you bought it for 2 times, 3 times, you went into the business, you improve the business, you improve the operation, you improve cash flow, you now have more cash flow, you can then sell the business for much higher multiples and then really have a nice arbitrage on the difference in the multiples between the multiple that you buy it and the multiple that you sell it. And think about it this way: if you're buying a business, just to keep the numbers simple, for $2 million, right? Let's say you buy a business doing whatever in profits, but you were able to buy it in 2 million. So let's say, just to keep the numbers simple, you're buying a business doing 1 million a year for 2 times multiples, which is definitely doable if you find the right seller. If it's a motivated seller, you buy it for 2 times multiples. You're operating the business better, potentially buying more businesses, you're growing the business within very short period of time. If you have the right opportunity, you can sell it for 5 times or 6 times or 7 times or 10 times, right? So it's the difference between buying it for 2 times, buying it for 2 million, and then selling it for 5 million or 10 million, whatever you're able to sell it and negotiate. And again, it can all be done with other people's money. And like I said, right now, I'm one of those people who want to be that other people money to invest in good deals. But you need to come work with us first to learn the process, so you can actually understand some of the nuances, some of the terms, and just understand how to find a good deal, how to analyze a good deal, how to close on a good deal, and how to operate the business in the first place. Because the last thing I want to do right now is invest with someone I don't know, who don't know my process, who don't know anything about the space. Because then you're going to make $1 million mistakes just by not knowing what to do. Let me look at some more questions. Ravi know about me for 6 months, 3 years. Wow, 2 years. When he sourced a direct deal, 3 years. Am I even doing this for 3 years now? Yeah, pretty much. I think I started doing YouTube videos for in the last 3 years ago or something. Where do I have some more questions here? 1 year. Cool, cool, cool. When you source a direct deal, how do you help the seller who doesn't have a broker learn the deal process? Many of them have never sold a business. Yeah, great question. Well, the best way to teach the seller about the deal process is for you to understand the deal process, right? So when you understand the deal process, then you can really coach them through the process and make sure that that they are comfortable with going through that. Can you describe your business and services you offer? Yeah, Bob. So what we do is we help people with the process of buying businesses. We are helping you guys with picking the right sector, finding the deals, analyzing deals. We have a program that we're supporting you throughout all the journey. So we have a lot of training and education and videos alongside weekly Q&A calls, alongside 24/7 support, alongside 4 days of live event, basically walking you through that process. And then eventually with some of our private clients, we're also providing you with Rolodex of institutions and eventually putting you in front of equity investors to help you with finance those deals. And by the way, I think when you're asking, that's probably a good opportunity to tell you guys, if you want to see what it looks like to work with us, or you're just interested in this space of acquisitions, you can go to acquisitions.com, and I'll put the link in the chat, /apply. So it's acquisitions.com/apply. Book a call with us. We'll see where you're at, where you want to be, and see kind of like what's the gap from where you're at and where you want to be, and see if we can help you. If we can help you, we'll let you know. We'll let you know what it looks like to work with us. And if not, we'll steer you to somewhere else to support you. And we have some of the results that our clients have been getting is seriously insane. I don't know if you follow me for a while, you probably saw some of the testimonials, but we have people who literally went out there and bought 3 businesses in less than a year. I'm talking each of those businesses doing at least $1 million a year in sales, have a management team in place, and using other people's money to buy those businesses. So it's very, very lucrative if you're able to be committed, do the work, being resourceful, take action, step outside your comfort zone, because it's not a get rich quick thing. It's a work hard, stay committed, and eventually you can do those things. And again, one deal can literally change your life and like change your socio-economic status like nothing else. I don't think there's anything out there in the entrepreneurial space that can really change your I don't even know how to say the word, socioeconomic status like doing acquisitions. One deal can literally add your net worth by multiple 7 figures, right? So I mean, I don't know many things that can help you do that. Like even a lot of people compare that to real estate. Yeah, I mean, real estate with development, you can do that, but you got to bring a lot of money from home. With businesses, I think you can start with much less money if you find the right deal. Plus, the upside of businesses is much more exciting because with businesses, there's no limits to how much you can sell a product or a service. You can always hire more people. With real estate, like there's only so much you can increase the rental fees or the whatever, right? Even if you buy a multi-family, like some people out there like Grant Cardone is doing amazing deals, but there's only so much upside you can do. So you always need to find more deals, which is all good. You can do that with business, but with business, the beauty is that you can also grow organically by doing more sales, more marketing, having better processes, optimizing operations, saving costs, things that you can do only so much in real estate. Yeah, so the link is acquisitions.com/apply, and I'll post it in the YouTube thing. Oh, cool. Oh, so I need to see some questions that I didn't check on YouTube. So let me quickly go through that as well. 3 years, people from Miami. Nice. Can we pick multiple sectors? The answer is yes. But I can tell you, I don't think it's the best decision. Like when I've done deals, I wasn't focused on just one super niche sector, which I think hurted me in the end of the day in terms of if you're just thinking money. I think it was really exciting for me in terms of like lifestyle and excitement of learning about different sectors and stuff like that. But if you want to think just money, capital only, then I would say you want to start with one. Like doing multiple sectors is great, but you want to start with one. Like, even Elon Musk, you got tons of businesses in different sectors right now, but guess what? You got to start with one that will at least provide you the capital to begin with, and then if you want to expand just because you enjoy uh, the idea of being there, then it's your life. You make a decision. Arham, Moran, can you give a feedback on my storefront website? Um, I I mean, feel free to put your website. I can check it out, but I'm not sure I'm the best. I'm not like a web designer to give you the best feedback on that. Where do you look for these businesses without a broker? Yeah, so we have at this point dozens of ways, anywhere from LinkedIn, different social media platforms, calling people, sending letters, and we have different scripts for each of those places. In the past, I really like to go to events, for example, and we have dozens of more ways. Um, Let me just make sure I'm not missing questions. Right, what to do when? Okay, I see another one. Andres, what to do when seller is owner and manager at the same time? What to do when seller is owner and manager at the same time? Usually that's what's going to happen actually. So most businesses, small businesses, you'll find out are actually being very much run by a owner manager who's kind of like in their day to day is probably doing the work of five people. So it's part of the process. It's part of the idea of finding the right owner who will eventually stay with you at least on some kind of a transition period. Or what you'll find out is that a lot of business owners, especially in the like just to give you an idea, there's a lot of engineers out there running like engineering companies, and they don't want to deal with the financial side of things anymore, or with the legal side of things anymore, right, or things like that. um, yeah, so what they would love to do, a lot of them will just want to have some kind of a business partner with them who is more focused on the business side of things, the biz dev side of things, the deal side of things, and they just want to keep doing their art, keep doing their engineering work. How do you convince CPA to share deal leads? Often they know many business owners, but CPA are tight. Well, with CPAs, like any other professional, you gotta learn how to position yourself as a credible buyer. You gotta learn the process of learning how to position yourself as a credible buyer. Plus, as you mentioned, CPA, how they can, but CPA are asleep. Yeah, so position yourself as a credible buyer, plus have some kind of a win-win scenario for them as well, right? So what's the win for them? Like a lot of us always, I um, think only on yourself. You're too selfish, but you need to remember that in business, it's got to be win-win. Like there's no reason for the other side to help you if you're not adding some kind of anything from your end, right? So always think about the other side. It's like people ask me, what's the best way to negotiate? The best way to negotiate on deals is finding out what the other side really wants, and you can get 100% of your offer accepted. I'm not saying you need to accept all of those, but I'm saying like you really want to understand what it looks like to be better at negotiation. Is like learn to listen, learn to be there, and actually understand what the other side wants. And a lot of people, for some reason, forget about that. Like there's always two sides to two sides to a deal. It's not like you're deal with yourself. Cool. So I see the chat. Da, 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 da. Cool. So let me know. Do you guys enjoy some of these Q&A calls? I will try to do as much as possible of those if they're valuable. I might do another like a longer workshop where I'll bring like organized slides and stuff like that. Probably in 2 or 3 weeks. We'll announce that. So make sure that you are paying attention to your emails. And yeah, if you have some more thoughts on what you want to learn about, then let us know. And yeah, so I think we'll end with that, and we'll let you know about the next Q&A call or workshop. We'll probably try to do, like I said, a longer one next time. In the meantime, like I said, some of our clients are buying 2, 3, 4 businesses in a year, each of them doing like a millionaire in sales. Don't miss out. It's probably the best opportunity for your lifetime right now to buy businesses. Baby boomers are retiring. Millions of baby boomers are retiring, and yeah, get on it. So I'll put the link once again. Fantastic call. Thank you. Thank you. I'll put the link. Where is it? Let me put that acquisitions.com/apply. So yeah, guys, if you want to see how we can help you, um, go to that link, book a call with us. You have nothing to lose. Worst case scenario, you'll end up with $1 million business, another $1 million business, or your first or your next $1 million business in the next year. Let's see where you're at. Let's see where you want to be. Worst case, we'll add value to you and try to, help you with whatever questions you have. So go to that link right now, book a call with us, and we'll see you next time. Take care, everyone.